talk about financial lease today, and in this case we should highlight the benefits. So we should assess the possible benefits of leasing. So if you are thinking about the leasing equation, we have this issue or this approach. When we have asset price, we have to reduce it with the residual value, which is supposed to be around 25%. Somewhere the lecture notes are saying this. And then also we need a reduction because of US GAAP accounting issues. And after that we have to calculate the... So practically this is an annuity because we have a fixed payment for a predefined time period, and the interest rate for this annuity is determined by these factors of different R. So R0 is the interest rate which is available for the leasing company. R1 depends on the maturity and down payments. Unfortunately, we are not able to model this one, so we have no idea. Then the next thing, interest premium 2 is defined by the commission on the leasing company. So it's still a problem. And interest premium 3 represents the partner risk and volatility of asset price. So at least partner risk can be modeled with the default rate, time to default, and this data. So this is transparent for us. And additional services, if there is any, then we can add it. Okay, so on the lecture I talked about that if we have a need for some kind of an asset, so we need a machine, an airliner, a locomotive, something like this, which is high value, then we can finance it, or a fleet of trucks or cars. We can finance it through a long-term lease contract or financial lease contract. But the problem is that sometimes companies are turning towards lease because they are not able to buy the asset in question, or they need money desperately, but still need the asset at the same time. So in this case, they can use also a lease. So in our case, we need money desperately. So this is our core situation. And luckily we have this property here. So before I'm doing anything, I opened the bond Excel from last time. And now we just have to create a lease. Alternate saving. Because in this case we can say that we have this beautiful property in our hand, which is really nice because it is more than 500 million. So we can see that some of this property, I don't know what is this, but it will be, we will be selling it, and then we will just paying for the lease. So this is a lease-back contract, which is usually companies are using it when they have troubles in terms of funding already. So usually they are not healthy, over-debted companies which are trying to consolidate themselves, which is sort of a valid situation for us as well. And in this case, they are trying to survive by practically moving towards this funding channel. We can say that also airliners are doing this, so they are purchasing the airplane and then selling it to a lease company, and after that leasing it back. But in this case, they are moving much more like or motivated by the flexibility, not because of collecting funds this way. So this is our own motivation. Okay, so in this case, what we need here is sample solution, and I have to scroll down in the proper way. So with the software, there is the. So last time we compared already many things, but now we should see that if we need million euros, then we can sell a building. Okay, it's not building, it's property. So that's property in the balance sheet for this amount of money, and can have a leaseback and make leaseback contract. Okay, so what are the desired ingredients for this thing? So we have the asset price already, which is cool. But obviously we have to start with the interest rates. So interest rate for the annuity behind the lease contract. This is what we have to determine at first, and then we can calculate the lease fee. Okay, and then the next thing will be then impact on value and profitability, value and probability of default. I think it will be not a great surprise for you that this will be the most expensive approach, because obviously if we are using a lease contract, then already we have way higher interest rates than for a standalone loan contract, because due to the additional services and the funding of the bank itself, then interest rate will be bigger, and after that usually this is not the most economic way to finance a company. The benefit would be, or supposed to be, the flexibility of funding, or the flexibility of the funding itself. So that's all. Yeah. So then now let's determine the. Let's create a designated lease sheet for ourselves within the Excel, and after that we can build up all these things. So first, interest rate. So we have the these firms own interest rate. So we have to look for some kind of a data which represents the bank system. And since we don't have any other data, just which reflects on the partner risk, that's why we are jumping already into risk component, and after that we will have something here. So we can ask the question that, okay, maturity itself, no, we don't want to capture it, it's enough. Yeah, but if the if you are just taking up a loan for 5 years as the leasing company, and we are A-rated, so we don't want to. Okay, but this is USD credit curve, so this is not proper because we need still euros. Okay, this is lower. So if we are rated A, then we can see that, okay, 3.001 will be our preferred interest rate. So that was so good. Just we can do it. 3.001 percent, or okay, let's write it here. We will not overcomplicate things. And after this boomer, then let's see partner is component. So here we need the following things. So default rate and time to default. Here we can go for standards and poors. Because their annual report, they have an Excel sheet. We already have this an aggregated level, but it will be also published in aggregated level, but no. Yes, it will be published also by industry. So we are in the aerospace, automotive, capital goods, metal industry, which is everything. And then we can see that time to default from the original rating, median years from the original rating, and standard deviation. So obviously we have to choose one of them. Let's choose for the lower. I mean, in this case, the conservative, so this is the lower number, but obviously we are defaulting, then it will be red. So time to default. This number here. This is in years. So other is default rate. Some come on, we should have it in the industry. Yes. So we have the default rates by industry, and in this case we can see that I always prefer the weighted average because the annual default rates, as you can see, they are jumping back and forth again and again. So if we are planning on long run, we can use this one. But right now I'm looking for the crisis scenario, so let's go for the highest. Otherwise, median is also lower. So right now, what we can see that 2023 was a terrible year for this sector because way more companies defaulted than usually. So this is above the median and even above the weighted average. So for me, it's really good because we can see things. So 2.7% of the companies defaulted last year. And then we can see that based on the interest rate, so we have to divide them. We don't have to multiply them by 12 months because it's only the annual data, so it's no problem for us. But we have to multiply them by 2. Which one is up and which one is down? The default rate by time to default. Then, because of Basel standards, we have to use this to multiplier. What is your problem? Excel issue. And now we can see that this is a percentage. Still have to divide it by 100 and then it's a percentage now. So interest rate altogether will be this one and that one. For annuity, then we have to say that okay, value of the property that is 500, so we are selling 500 of something, and after that still we need residual value. According to US GAAP, it cannot be higher than 25%, so okay, let's keep it this way. And also what we need here is this multiplier. So 90%, and then we can see that the lease fee will be so this number multiplied by 1 minus this number altogether multiplied by this number. Then we have to divide it with all these things. Oh, a small thing. Time 5 years. It's necessary. So divided by other thing divided by R. Yes, now we have it. And then 1 minus 1 plus R on the power of 5. Okay, now what is the bug? Oh, minus. Sorry. Oh, it's good. Yeah, so this is the lease fee, annual. In euros. So the question is that is this thing cheaper than what we have to pay for our loans? So let's bring it back and let's see that okay, if we need this money. First of all, I started to modify the bond related funding scheme, so we should reduce that from here. Bye bye. And then we have the unit costs here. Paid interest, hedge interest. Oh, paid financial fees. I already prepared one line for it, which is good. Because usually I'm forgetting this and then I have to modify all the other stuff. And here is the problem. So after 5 years, when the lease contract expires, we have to be able to buy back this asset. Or otherwise, we will not have this unknown property later on. So here we have to decide that, okay, what will be the residual value? So right now the residual value is this 25%, but obviously this is not good expectation for us, because so book value at the time of expiration should be this number, and so if usually these long-term assets have a depreciation of 20 years. At least what I remember from accounting, so okay, 20 years is good, and we are doing it for 20 or 5 years. Sorry, minus 5 years. Then this should be the book value at the time of expiration. So it would be fair to buy it back at this price. Otherwise, I think that we would
There will be a gap, I think. Like the residual value, we are keeping 25%, and there our book value will be 75%.
Yes. Just otherwise, if they are not reselling it back at this price, then the leasing company is not a rational actor, unfortunately. So,
but it will be a loss thing for us, maybe, because we are buying it with high value.
Yes. So let's just recreate that. What can we assume here? That if instead of using this kind of residual value, so use a new residual. Is this one. Yeah. No. I would like to make a copy of this one. Put it here. I'm saying it. Yeah, okay. Sorry, yes, you're right. We are doing the same because it's 75%. So you have to buy back. Okay, it was absolutely unintentional, but this is completely luck that we don't have to anything here. So okay, but at least I was able to prove that we have to do this assessment. So it was planned, obviously not, and still we have to rebuy this asset if we would like to use it in the future. So we have this extra expenditure. Okay, we are rich and profitable at this point at some level, so it's no problem. They are still profitable after that. So if we are collecting this, and once I did it, then still you have to say that okay, cash was increased, so it's no problem. What is this inventories? Don't keep there anything. So this payable is not relevant for us. So right now, this debt was relevant, and that's also we have this additional payments here in the paid financial lease row. So here we have to repurchase. After that, I think we did not forget anything. So paying, then repurchasing, and then case closed, and we got all the funding. Paid interests, okay, they went back to nearly to zero. We have our financial revenues in terms of collected interests. We have our financial runway, and it's still good because it covers the. Where are you coming from? So if I'm just adding these two things together, it's higher. Okay, but still we are modeling 500, so okay. Let's ignore this fact that these numbers are right now bigger because it will be already a problems issue later on. So now we should collect valuation, and in this case I did not mingle anything with the number of shares, so this one should be okay. And then somewhere I had the fancy, maybe it was share issuance. Yes, so I had this fancy table here about probability of default and value. So let's grab this one. And let's just put it here into lease because then let's close it back again before I'm starting to override the wrong file. And this one is moving downwards a bit, and then we can say that, let's see the value. Lease-back contract and probability of default. It should be even more terrible. They can switch. Why? Dear Excel, why are you doing this to me? Yes, okay, now it's... And of course we have to put the scale down to 100 because it can go up. I was assuming more terrible news. So if you are just going for that, this is the red line, to highlight it. It's not that terrible. Okay, obviously in the last year it will increase because we have this buyback issue. Also in terms of valuation, not on the inside should be red. You can see it also contributes to value growth. Okay, for me this is surprising because usually the lease-back is worse than this. But we did proper math here, there, also here as well. Maybe the reason is that interest rates are high, but not that high, like the last year. Okay, so that's why it's always fun to make these calls because the external data is changing. So then let's write the report. So interest rate for the annuity behind the lease contract. There's no points here because we have 3, 2, no, 3. Interest rate for A-rated EU companies on the corporate bond market were at 5 years maturity. In the aerospace sector, S&P reported time to default with some years, 4.58 years, and default rate of 2.7%, which is not that terrible. So just for fun, let's see that which industries: leisure, time, and media. Wow. Okay, that was not the best year for media. 5% of companies defaulted. Telecommunications, transportation. Okay, they are also not that great. Okay, what was this? Okay, there were worse years. So this is the historical maximum in 1 year. I don't know which year because it's not written there, but okay, so unfortunately we can't copy and paste this one. Whatever. So yeah, time to default was the rate of this levels. As a result, the leads will be accounted with an interest rate of something percent, 4.18%. Also, we will add the precise calculation as well, because people like tables. Okay, then lease fee as an annuity. So we will sell a building with the book value of 500 million, and we purchase it 5 years later euros, which is nice. Then okay, sorry. It's still not good. Because if I'm saying that the residual value is this one, then yeah, I made the wrong setup. Oh, the lease fee will be lower because since we are buying back at higher price. Okay, I nearly messed up, but we can see that. Now let's cross it. We have to use the other one. Yes. Nice. And also now we don't have to use up. Yes, we have an additional 43 million euros in the financial runway, so we still have some money for surviving, so it's even nicer. Means that the lease fee will be only okay, and now I have to recalculate everything. So in terms of valuation, we have a chance that in this year Lease will win. This was not the case. Never. When we were playing with locomotives, even at that time it was more expensive, but because we were using full service lease contracts, so that was reasonable. Yay! So it will be even higher than in case of additional equity issuance. But that's why we cannot do this. So even if it provides higher value, equity issuance is our entry point to the company to do all our reforms. So it's nice, just. Well, we can say probability of default will be similar. So. It's not significantly different than the rest of the funding strategies. Can we say that it's not significant? We have this t-test where we can test the different approaches. So is there any significant difference between Yeah. CF parameter. One. Okay. Now I haven't. So is this significantly different when we are using the bond funding with the worst case scenario? No, it's not, because this p-value is bigger than 0.05, so it's not significant. What is this significant when we are comparing the bond and the loan? It says now it is significant, so there is difference between bond funding. Also, if we are doing the same thing for current funding environment, so there is a difference between bond and loan related funding. Then let's see, equity to bond. Is it significantly different? Yes, it is significantly different because it's lower than 0.05. I never did this, but it's funny. Also, it doesn't matter that which scenario are we using here. In terms of loans, it's also significantly, obviously, because numbers here are completely different. And in terms of lease-back, it's still different. Okay, so let's see. Lease and bond funding. Significantly different. Lease and loan. Significantly different. And lease and equity, we already programmed that it's significantly different. So we can say that okay, not that different, because I was disproving it that according to paired two-sided t-test, this was significantly different in terms of numbers, but otherwise we can say that yeah, it's following the same trajectory. So, but we can't use it since the issuance of additional fees were the entry point into the company. Or we can do it, but in this case we have to buy shares from the original shareholders. So we have to buy share packages from Airbus and Safran Engine. So one of them, or maybe both of them, should sell shares for us, because right now all the shares are owned by these two companies. So they can also do that one. Just so maybe it's we can use italic or something like this. Maybe it's not the strongest point here, but at least in my assessment I will select. So still we need a conclusion here. The company issue new shares to collect the required runway for to conduct the necessary consolidation and the renewal of the product line. It's nice that we are having this, but at the end of the day, So conclusion is level 2.